Hey everyone, so we are going to can some roast beef, and this is a chuck roast. I've trimmed it up real good. Obviously with chuck you can't get it all. I'm just cutting it into bite-sized pieces. And then I have a pan on the burner getting hot. Well, it is hot. It's not getting anymore. I was waiting for the washing machine to quit spinning so I could start this, and now I have an old dog barking out in the backyard. So I should one day tell you guys about my foster dog who ended up having distemper. We'll talk about that sometime. So I'm going to turn around. Okay, nothing bad happened. I think that was pretty smooth. Do you guys think that was pretty smooth? Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And yeah, that's hot. Very hot. I need to wash my hands real fast. Let's stir this up. I know that sizzling is probably loud. I'm trying to talk louder now. I'm probably yelling at you. I'm sorry. And then I'm going to take, it's just my house seasoning. And add some of that. And this batch is just going to be canned with some beef broth. The next batch is going to be beef and onions and gravy. So let that brown up. We're not going to actually cook this all the way. I just want to brown it. And then we'll load it into the jars. I just prefer it that way. You can totally raw pack it. You can just take this, pack your jars, and raw pack it. I would add a smidge of beef broth or a little bit of better than bouillon into the jar or something, but I just think it looks much nicer. The end product is much nicer if you just brown off the meat. But like I said, if your time constraints have a ton to do, just raw pack it if you want. So we're going to brown this up. Okay, so here's our meat. It's done. I'm going to take it off, and I have a whole nother roast I'm going to do. And if you didn't want to just can this little bit, I'm cleaning out the freezer. So I had this and another whole chuck roast. And I'm going to do it with onions and gravy. And I can use that for beef tips and gravy, stroganoff. I have a video where I've done the beef with mushrooms, onions, gravy. But if you didn't want to can this little bit, like I said, I'm doing other things, you could add veggies and turn this into a stew or a vegetable wow vegetable beef soup. You could add carrots, potatoes, and then add your broth in here, boil it for a minute or two, and then fill your jars, and it would stretch it and give you more. So, you know, whatever you want to do for your stuff. And you could do soup times as well instead of packed meat times. Did you know not all things with meat are meat times? Okay. So what do we have? Can you see? Can we see? Let my spoon rest. I have a pitcher of beef broth, so it's ready to go. I'm going to fill this quart jar 3 times and put it in my Presto canner. So you need 3 quarts of water. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on that burner. Get that warmed up. And that's because this is not going to be exactly a cold pack. So I don't want to chance anything breaking. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the jars. I have a little dish of vinegar there to clean my rims. I'm going to fill it to 1 inch of headspace. Meats like this work out pretty good in your smallmouth jars. Some things pack easier in wide mouth. Fill your broth up to 1 inch of headspace. We're going to debubble. And I can use that broth in my beef and gravy. So just run your debubbler around. The juice drops. Just add some more. Your meat is going to make a little juice on its own though, since it was not cooked all the way. Or and then take a paper towel, some vinegar, and clean those rims really well. husband sounds like he's trying to quietly have one of his sneezing fits. I feel sorry for him. Okay. Yeah, he's blowing his nose. Okay. Put a lid here. A lid here. Band on, fingertip tight, and put it in the canner. So you're going to pressure can that. I was gonna just try and turn you around, but there's the pressure canner. So we are going to pressure can this at 10 pounds of pressure for anything 1,200 feet and lower, and anything 1,200 feet and above will be 15 pounds of pressure. And you can look that up in Google. Just put in your location and ask for elevation, the elevation of your area, and it will tell you. So I'm going to do 10 pounds of pressure for 75 minutes, and I will show it to you when it comes out of the canner. Okay, we're going to open up the canner. Always away from you. Don't want to get burned. Take them out. This is the beef and broth. And I did do another recipe, so I used the space in the canner so I didn't waste it. So this is the beef and broth. If you have any questions, post them down below. Now if you had something like this in a small batch, I would do it in the carry canner, but since I had the other ones, and you can always do beans, they're the same time, so you can always fill your canner. But if you have any questions, post them down below. So there's my beef and broth, and as I go through the freezer, we'll just see what we can can up. So I've got some more canning videos coming up, and thank you for watching if you watched, and I will see you next time. Good night.